Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of the Super J Business Hour. My name is Super J Business. I want to say thank you to everybody. We are slowly but surely getting a lot of views. Yesterday, my video had more views than I've ever had before, and it's you guys that make it possible, and I thank you. Let's jump right into the news. We're going to do a quick local story, and then we're going to jump into world news because of everything going on. In the local Lancaster New Era, and this is Friday, July 15th, 2011, it says Judge nixed her own tickets. Okay, and what this is talking about locally is that, according to court records, the judge Kelly Ballantyne did not return calls seeking comment. And this is about a Lancaster, Pennsylvania city district judge. She dismissed several of her own parking tickets within the past year's court record shows. And it says District Judge Kelly Ballantyne dismissed a no parking ticket and an expired registration ticket in December and a no parking ticket in January. It says, according to the State Judicial Conduct Board rules, district judges should disqualify themselves in proceedings where they are a party. Really? Like they didn't know that? Like, if you get a ticket and you're a judge, it shouldn't go into somebody else's hands? Of course you're going to take away the ticket from yourself. Why would you want to put points against yourself? If I'm a judge and I get a ticket, it's common sense tells me that I have to face another judge, but this one took it in her own hands, abused the law, and just canceled her own tickets. That must be really convenient. So it just goes to show you more tyranny, more abuse of power, and here we go. So then we're going to jump right into all types of other news here. And on the same paper for Friday, July 15th, 2011, Lancaster New Era, hints of deal and debate on debt. Senators working on a fallback plan. So they're saying they're working on a fallback plan. I wonder what their fallback plan is. The fallback plan is to let it happen anyway. That's what's going to happen here. They stonewall people, and then they threaten people. Remember? Problem, reaction, solution. So what are they saying? The problem is going to be that they won't be able to send everybody's check out on August 3rd. The reaction will be that the public freaks out and goes, oh my God, we won't get our checks, we won't get our checks. And the solution will be, well, we have to raise the debt ceiling and completely destroy our dollar. And that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to crash the dollar, trying to crash the euro, and then they can come out with a one world currency and do what they want anyway. This is all planned, folks. You don't think these are the smartest people in the world. These are the people that put a space shuttle up in space. These are people that work in space. And you don't think they can fix an economic problem? They know what they need to do. They need to listen to Ron Paul. They need to let the states print their own money. They need to shut the Fed down and start over. Just let the banks crash. Let these super rich global elite do their own thing and fix the country. But we're more interested in going to war, aren't we? Because more people are making money that way. And that can prove that by showing you the Patriot News. And this is from yesterday, Saturday, July 16th, 2011. Okay? Recovery pains. And the reason that says that is because the economy might be growing, but there are still signs that it's on shaky grounds. And it goes on to show that houses are just sitting there. They're not being bought. They can't even finish building them. Of course they can't. There's no money. There's no recovery. The economy is not growing. We are not in a recession. We are in a depression. We are in trouble, folks. If you have any concern for your family members or love for these people, you need to tell them that we're in big trouble. If you have any faith in God, you need to start putting it in his hands, but then you need to stand and we need to fight and work together to take back our government. We need to vote for Ron Paul in 2012, and we need to change what's going on here. Because enough is enough. And we're going to jump right into the New York Times for Saturday, July 16th, 2011, okay? This is from yesterday as well. And it goes, fallback moving to 4 as talks on budget stall. Obama signaled support. Obama is claiming public's on his side. President still urges big deal. Okay, so let me be the first to say, Obama, we're not on your side, and it's not because of who you are, it's because of what you are. You're a puppet, and you do what you're told to do because you don't care about this country. You care about book deals and all kinds of other stuff, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to get to a story where we already know that you raised $86 million for his re-election campaign last quarter a sum that puts him far ahead of his GOP rivals. Why don't you take some of that $86 million and help the economy out instead of making commercials to ruin the government for another 4 years? You know? Here's another story in the New York Times for Saturday, July 16th. Libya rebels get formal backing and $30 billion. Okay, now keep in mind, our economy is going in the toilet, right? But we have enough money, it even says right here, Istanbul. The United States formally recognized the rebel leadership in Libya as the country's legitimate government on Friday, allowing the rebel government access to $30 billion in Libyan assets held in the United States. It is not yet clear how and when the money would be released. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. There's $30 billion right there we're going to give to a bunch of terrorists that we train to go kill people in Libya, when we shouldn't even be in Libya in the first place. We shouldn't be any wars. When our economy is going into the toilet, when we're about to see the actual collapse of the U.S. dollar, when we see that they're getting ready to take away our AAA rating, which will then make our money just about as useful as toilet paper, it's probably a good idea not to spend $30 billion on more war and another $86 million for a president who is a puppet and who has done worse than Bush and who has basically continued every tragedy and horrific event that Bush created. Folks, I beg of you to go to my favorites, start watching every one that you can. Watch my old uploads. They're all full of great information. If you like this video, hit like. Subscribe to my channel. Please give the support that you can. That's all we ask, so that we can keep putting this video out daily. You know, it's time to wake up, folks. The game is over. Now we're gonna wind down the show by jumping to the Wall Street Journal. Okay, this is the Wall Street Journal, and this was from Thursday, July 14th. Okay, this one's a couple days old, but I couldn't, you know, not talk about this. Raiders put U.S. on notice. Moody's SP sound alarms on debt. President Obama walks out of talks. And again, Moody's Investor Service is the one who gives us our rating, and it's reviewing the government's top AAA bond rating for possible downgrade, citing the rising possibility that the government's $14.29 trillion borrowing limit will not be raised soon enough to prevent the U.S. from running out of money to pay its bills. We need to just default, folks, and get it over with, and then start over and do the right thing and get Ron Paul as president, have the states print money, and fix this problem. We can do it. And we've done it before, and America is strong, and we'll get this country back. But they don't want that. They want to rape everybody for every last penny they have and take everything we have. And this is the plan, folks. If you don't see it by now, I don't know what else to say. Now we're just going to just drop on a bunch of stories, okay? Bombings in Mumbai left at least 21 people dead. So now we're bombing India, okay? So that's great. It also goes on to say Bernanke left the Fed open to new steps to shore up the economy and acknowledge to lawmakers worries about the recovery's durability, which is nonsense. He just lies. That's all he does now. He just straight lies. Stocks snapped. A 3-day slide as investors saw hope for further economic stimulus from the Fed. The dollar fell and gold hit a record. Yeah, because that's what gold's supposed to do, not Federal Reserve paper. We're supposed to back our money with gold and print it from the states. Read the Constitution, folks. It's all there. Ron Paul doesn't say all this stuff for no reason. It's all there. We can fix this country by one simple thing, the Constitution of the United States of America. If we start following it, then we can have a better country. Our credit rating is going in the toilet. That's another small thing here. Some GOP lawmakers say Congress must pass a balanced budget amendment before they will vote to raise the government's borrowing limit. And then they go on to say the European Union's banking stress tests are facing 11th hour scramble, which means they're crashing their dollar over in Europe. And then NATO, of course, because we have money to continue doing this, is going to continue bombing campaign in Libya as long as Gaddafi forces remain a threat to civilians, which he's not a threat to civilians. He takes care of his people. We need to just get out of that country. This is all lies. It's all insane. Facebook has become an exhibit A in the debate over whether closely held web companies merit their skyrocketing valuations, so that gives them an excuse to come over and take the internet over. And I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. As big banks prepare to report results, regulators are scrutinizing what they are telling shareholders because they lie about the mortgage-related messes, because they They gave all these shoddy mortgages to people that knew they couldn't pay them. We're in trouble, folks. You better start paying attention. Egypt's government said it would delay a parliamentary vote and fire police officers implicated in protesters' deaths. It just doesn't stop. A nuclear industry voiced concerns over new proposals it said could require costly upgrades to power plants. Because go back to my other uploads, we already proved that power plants are only good for about 40 years, and now they're lying saying they're good for a lifetime because they don't want to put the money into fixing them. They just want them to blow up and melt all over, and then everyone can just die from radioactive, okay? And then it goes on to say Japan's Prime Minister Khan called for phasing out nuclear power because of its risk and a reversal of energy policy. Now that sounds like something smart for once. And then it just keeps going. It just says the yen has pushed higher amid the Eurozone crisis. Now the yen is worth more than our money. That's great. Saudi Arabia, they're going to go after them for their oil next. Oh, don't worry. They're going to try to go after Iran, Pakistan. They'll keep going. More war, more war, more war. And then, of course, Americans could be paying upward of $2 billion a year to third-party vendors who attach charges to monthly phone bills, an inquiry found. Yeah, all the money goes to all these rich bankers in other countries while we starve to death in America. That's just fantastic. And again, last but not least, Obama raised $86 million for his re-election campaign last quarter, and that puts him far ahead of all the other rivals. That's great because we need him for another 4 years. We need to get him out of there. We need to get Ron Paul in and stop this nonsense and go by the Constitution and maybe take some advice from the founding fathers that fought and died for this country, because it's not making sense anymore, folks. We're running backwards, and the media is lying to you, TV is lying to you, and it just needs to stop. And the last story, which is a good story, a gun activist takes aim at U.S. regulatory power, and I'm going to try and get this story out quick because we're almost out of time. In Missoula, Montana, with a homemade .22 caliber rifle he calls the Montana Buckaroo, Gary Marbo dreams of taking down the federal regulatory state. Good for you, Gary. He's not planning to fire his gun. Instead, he wants to sell it, free from federal laws requiring him to record transactions, pay license fee, and open his business to government inspectors. For years, Mr. Marbo argued that a wide range of federal laws, not just gun regulations, should be invalid because they were based on an erroneous interpretation of Congress' constitutional power to regulate interstate commerce. Good job, Gary. In his corner were a handful of conservative lawyers and academics. Now with the rise of the Tea Party movement, the self-employed shooting range supplier finds himself leading a movement. 8 states have adopted his Firearms Freedom Act, thank God for whatever 8 states those are, which Mr. Mamboon convinced as a vehicle to undermine federal authorities over commerce. Undermine them? This is great, folks. Forget the federal government. They're going for a huge power grab with these TSA agents, with trying to shut down gun shops and telling gun owners they can only sell one gun. They're out of control. We need to shut the Fed down. We need to go back to the states having the power. We need to go back to the Constitution. For 100 years, this country thrived. We were the greatest country in the world. Our money was worth the most, and we did awesome. And that was until those bankers stuck their hands deeper and deeper and deeper into our pockets, and they're going for the same plan, and it's all about cutting borders, going with the one world currency, and destroying this country. And that's what's happening. And you better pay attention, because you don't think that they're smart enough to fix this stuff? Of course they are. They don't want to fix it. They want to take your money, they want to take your house, they want to take everything until we're basically worth nothing and we're a third world country. And then they run the whole world. Do you notice a pattern? It's everywhere. It's going down in Europe. It's going down in Greece. Now America. Now Italy. It doesn't stop. So again, folks, I got to end. We only have a minute left to wrap up. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Super J Business Hour. My name's Super J Business. We love everybody out there. Peace in the Middle East. Peace in America. Peace in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, everywhere, folks. California. Let's get together. Let's spread the word. Please pass this video. Please pass my channel along to other people. Let's take the power back, folks. Let's fight the powers that be and get this together, folks. Enough is enough, and we need to fix this country, and we need to do what we need to do. God bless. Good luck. Tell your neighbors. Tell everyone. Subscribe to this channel. We'll be back tomorrow for another edition of the Super J Business Hour. We love you out there. Be good, and Godspeed, folks. We can take the power back. We can do it. We got to fight and stand up. Enough's enough. All right. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.